So this one is going to be a little bit of a challenge. So we're going to try to remove this coffee cup from this really organic looking pattern. So let's see what we can do here. Since we already have the spot healing brush tool highlighted, let's go ahead and try it. Let's try a big brush and just brush around the cup, see what happens. That's actually really not that bad. So let's continue to brush. Let's go back and make the brush a little smaller and kind of be a little bit more precise with our selection. Continue to select the kind of odd looking areas. So this is where we can take the clone tool. Let's go ahead and grab the clone tool and do some manual adjustments to this. So we have this line that kind of gets disrupted, but that's no problem. We can reproduce that line. Let's do a new layer. Go back to our other layer. Let's sample this line. Let's kind of have that line continue a little bit. And since this is on a separate layer, I now have a little bit of more control. I can take the eraser tool, kind of erase some of the rough edges. So that just looks a little bit better because you can see the line continuing on. And I could do the same over here. Let's grab a new layer. Go ahead and grab the clone tool again, and let's take a smaller sample. Let's bring this line over a little bit, just like that. Continue to do that until we get what I think is a little bit more realistic of a texture. So this is a really difficult one to try to remove something that took up almost half of this area. So yeah, I would go in and clean up a little bit of where the shadow was. The content aware did not do the best job, but it really got me started. And so now I can manually do this a lot quicker. So another cool way you can do content aware is to go back over to our our spot healing brush tool and go down to content aware move tool. So it's little arrows crossing each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this woman. And what's neat about this, just like the lasso tool, I can shift her over. So let's say I don't want her removed, I just want her over a couple of inches so I can have more of the background to put type or typography for an ad. So I have her selected, and now all I have to do is shift her over a little bit. I just want her over maybe toward this area. And what's great about this is basically the content aware tool. I'm going to press enter. It's going to remove her from this side and place her here. So right now it's analyzing. Let's see how good of a job it does. Okay, so definitely need a little bit of clone tool work there. Nothing we can't grab from this side and maybe apply to this side. So we'll take the clone tool, and I could do that a little bit. But if I ever needed to have typography or a headline, I just needed the model or the subject matter shifted over, but I don't want to have to cut them out. This is kind of a quick way to do that. So let me go up to my spot healing brush. The brush might be a little easier of a tool to use for this instance. Just kind of clearing up the sky. There's a little bit of hair there that doesn't need to be there. You could probably maybe get rid of this little area too. See what happens. You never know how it's going to work. Just continue to go back until you get what you want, because we don't need the mountains there really. Great. So I'd probably just do a little more work with cloning. So I'd get the clone tool, make it a little bit bigger, and just clean this up a little bit because it looks a little chunky. So just going in with the clone tool and manually fixing it up. I can even take this palm tree, put it right there, get another palm tree, put it right there. I'd probably put that on a new layer and make it smaller. Let's get that little bit of a palm tree. And I can even flip it horizontal. It doesn't look like the same palm tree over and over. And I can work on this, this right here. I wonder if I can use the content aware brush, spot healing brush, and see if I can't clean that up without having to use the clone tool. So right now it's taking samples from up there when I really want it to to be right here. So just keep at it, and you'll eventually get what you need. But yeah, she was totally shifted over a good couple inches, and you can't really tell, and I have a lot more room to put a headline or a typography there. And there's so many times when I run into photos that would be perfect to use in an ad, but the subject model is right there in the middle and I don't have any room to put type. So this is a great tool to use.